Have you ever found yourself wondering, perhaps while looking out the window on a quiet morning, what it really means to stay resilient and steady as the years go by? It is a question that crosses many of our minds, especially after we have celebrated 60 or more trips around the sun. And today I would like to invite you to sit with me for a while so we can explore that thought together in a way that feels calm, gentle, and entirely free of pressure. Hello, and welcome to this quiet space where we can talk not about strict rules or demanding routines, but about the simple, nourishing choices that might help us feel a little more supported in our daily lives. There is something quite comforting about the idea that supporting our body's natural rhythm doesn't necessarily require grand gestures or complicated changes, but might instead be found in the familiar, humble ingredients we likely already know and love. In fact, many people find that as we move into our 60s and 70s, the concept of immunity shifts from being a battle against illness to simply becoming a practice of daily care, a way of telling our bodies that we are listening and that we are here to provide gentle support. I wonder if you have ever noticed that the foods we find most comforting are often the ones that nature seems to have designed with a certain kind of wisdom in mind. It creates a lovely curiosity loop, doesn't it, to think that the secret to feeling well might not be hidden in a distant laboratory, but sitting quietly in a fruit bowl or a vegetable crisper right now. As we talk today, we are going to gently weave through 7 foods that are often cherished for their potential to support our well-being. But we will do so without any checklists or must-dos, simply observing what many others have found helpful. It is commonly felt that looking after ourselves at this stage of life is less about following orders and more about cultivating a friendship with our own physiology. One of the first things that often comes to mind when people think about natural resilience is the bright, uplifting presence of citrus fruits, which have held a place of honor in kitchens for generations. Whether it is the sunny zest of a lemon squeezed into warm water, or the simple act of peeling a sweet orange in the afternoon, these fruits are often associated with a feeling of refreshment and vitality. It is widely understood that citrus carries vitamins that are friendly to our systems, but beyond the nutritional labels, there is the experience of eating them, the way the scent alone seems to wake up the senses. Many people over 60 find that incorporating a bit of citrus isn't just about seeking a specific outcome, but about adding a moment of brightness to the day, which in itself can be a form of well-being. And speaking of daily rituals, this brings us to a thought that many people overlook when they focus too hard on specific nutrients, which is the importance of how our food makes us feel on the inside, particularly in our digestion. This is where many individuals find a great deal of comfort in fermented foods, particularly yogurt. There is a gentle consensus among many who navigate their later years with grace that maintaining a happy, balanced gut feels like a cornerstone of overall wellness. Yogurt, especially the kind that is simple and teeming with those friendly cultures we often hear about, is frequently praised not just for its texture and versatility, but for the way it is believed to offer a helping hand to the body's internal environment. It is fascinating to consider that something as simple as a small bowl of yogurt with breakfast might be a way of nurturing the complex ecosystem within us, a system that many traditions suggest is deeply linked to how resilient we feel overall. Of course, everyone's preferences are different, and some may choose kefir or other fermented options. But the underlying idea remains the same, that kindness to the stomach is often felt as kindness to the whole self. As we settle deeper into this conversation, I want to gently acknowledge that appetite and tastes can change as we get older, and that is completely natural. Sometimes we might not want a heavy meal, and that is where the quiet power of leafy greens often enters the picture. Spinach, kale, and gentle chards are often spoken of with great respect when discussing longevity and health. While raw salads are lovely for some, many people over 60 find that lightly cooking these greens, perhaps wilting them into a soup or sautéing them until they are soft and tender, makes them much more welcoming to the digestion, while still offering that deep, earthy nourishment. It is often said that these green leaves are like storing a little bit of the sun's energy, and including them in a meal can feel like a way of grounding oneself. It isn't about forcing down a giant plate of vegetables because we were told to, but rather about inviting a small portion of that green vitality onto our plate because it feels like a caring thing to do. What often matters more than the food itself is the consistency with which we offer these gifts to our bodies, allowing them to accumulate over time like a savings account for our well-being. And while we are considering the gifts of nature, there is one category of food that feels almost like a treat, yet is frequently highlighted for its supportive qualities. And that is the family of berries. Blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries are often celebrated not just for their delightful sweetness, but for the way they are thought to interact with our bodies' natural defenses. Many people enjoy the ritual of adding a handful of berries to their morning routine, finding that the burst of color and flavor is a joyful way to start the day. There is a softness to berries, a lack of heaviness, that makes them particularly appealing when we want something light yet substantial in its potential benefits. It is interesting to think that these small fruits, which have grown in the wild for thousands of years, are still looked upon today as little powerhouses of goodness. There is no need to worry about which one is best or to measure them out precisely. Simply enjoying the variety that the seasons offer can be a lovely way to connect with the cycle of the year. Moving from the sweet to the savory, we find ourselves thinking about ingredients that bring warmth and depth to our cooking, specifically garlic. For centuries, across almost every culture, garlic has been more than just a flavor enhancer. It has been viewed as a companion to health. Many of us might remember older relatives insisting on garlic during the colder months, and while we don't need to view it as a medicine, there is a reassurance in continuing that tradition. It is commonly noted that garlic contains compounds that are unique, and adding it to a stew or a roast is a way to make food feel more heartening. For those who might find the flavor strong, roasting it until it becomes sweet and spreadable is a wonderful modification that many enjoy. It serves as a gentle reminder that adapting our food to our current tastes is not a compromise, but a wisdom. As we pause for a moment, I wonder if you have ever noticed that feeling well is often linked to feeling sustained and energized throughout the day, avoiding those highs and lows that can leave us feeling tired. This is where nuts, such as almonds or walnuts, are often brought into the conversation. A small handful of nuts is frequently suggested by those who study nutrition as a way to provide the body with healthy fats and vitamin E, which is often discussed in the context of immune health. But beyond the science, there is the simple satisfaction of a crunch, the feeling of eating something substantial that tides us over. For many over 60, a few walnuts in the afternoon is a habit that feels supportive without being heavy. It is about finding those small bridges of nourishment that carry us from one part of the day to the next with stability. And finally, we cannot speak of comforting, supportive foods without mentioning the warming spices, particularly ginger and turmeric. These roots have a history that stretches back far beyond our own lifetimes, often revered for their ability to soothe and warm the body from the inside out. Many people find that sipping a warm tea infused with ginger, or adding a pinch of golden turmeric to a warm milk or a savory curry, brings a sense of internal comfort that is hard to describe but easy to feel. It is often felt that these spices help to settle the system, creating a sense of calm resilience. This seems especially relevant when we think about immunity, not just as fighting off a cold, but as maintaining a state of balance where the body feels at peace. Including these flavors can be a sensory experience. The warmth of the cup in your hands, the aromatic steam, the gentle heat on the palate, all of which contribute to a feeling of being well cared for. As we reflect on these 7 simple foods, citrus, yogurt, leafy greens, berries, garlic, nuts, and warming spices, it becomes clear that supporting our immunity is really just another word for cherishing ourselves. It is not about a rigid diet plan or anxiety over doing the right thing every single time. It is about the cumulative effect of small, gentle choices. Some days we might enjoy a colorful salad, and other days we might prefer tea and toast, and that is perfectly all right. The body is resilient, and it responds to love and consistency more than it responds to perfection. Many people find a great sense of relief in realizing that they don't need to overhaul their entire lives to feel a difference. They might just add a handful of berries here, or a clove of garlic there, and trust that these small acts of kindness are being received by the body with gratitude. It is also worth remembering that food is just one part of the picture. The way we rest, the way we laugh, the way we connect with others, all of these things feed our immunity in their own way. But there is something foundational about the food we eat, isn't there? It is the fuel that allows us to walk in the park, to play with grandchildren, to tend to our gardens, or simply to enjoy a quiet afternoon with a book. By choosing foods that are widely recognized as supportive, we are essentially sending a message to ourselves that we value our vitality and our independence. It is a quiet form of empowerment. As we age, the definitions of health can soften. It becomes less about numbers on a chart and more about the quality of our days. Can we move with ease? Do we feel a sense of clarity? Do we have the energy for the things that bring us joy? These foods we have discussed today are simply tools to help us answer yes to those questions a little more often. It is lovely to think that by enjoying a delicious meal, we are also doing the work of wellness. There is no separation between enjoyment and health when we approach it with this mindset of gentleness and respect. So, as you move forward into your day or your evening, perhaps you might look at your kitchen with fresh eyes, seeing not a place of chores or dietary restrictions, but a pharmacy of simple, natural wonders that are there to support you. Maybe you will choose to slice an orange later, or perhaps you will enjoy a quiet cup of ginger tea. And in that moment, you can take a deep breath and know that you are doing something good for yourself. It is a journey we are all on, navigating the changes of life. And it is always better when we can do it with a sense of calm and self-compassion. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, listening and reflecting on what it means to nourish ourselves well after 60. I hope this conversation has felt like a gentle breeze, reassuring you that you are likely already doing so many things right, and that adding a little more support can be easy and enjoyable. If this felt helpful or reassuring to you, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to stay connected. Thanks for being here, and take good care.